Hi, welcome to Gary's Hobby Studio. In this video, I'm going to go over my thoughts on the Steel Vengeance ride at Kennywood. We were there this past Saturday, and before I get into that, if you like what I do, please like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, select all, so that way you'll get notified of new videos that I publish. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. So, okay. Steel Vengeance is a roller coaster made by S&S, and I can't remember what S&S stands for, but if anybody's followed that, you know what I'm talking about. They did this for Kennywood. The Pittsburgh Steelers donated money to build Steelers country at Kennywood, which is great. I mean, the spot looks fantastic. The ride looks nice. I just think it doesn't fit the park. And the reason why I say that was when we were driving to Kennywood and we were coming down the hill towards the Rankin Bridge, my wife pointed out that it just didn't look right because she saw that it sticks up over the tree line there at Kennywood. And I didn't get to see it because when we came down the hill, the houses and trees blocked my view, and I was also trying not to, if somebody had to stop that was in front of me, I didn't hit them. So once we got down onto the Rankin Bridge and I stopped because the light was red, I happened to look over to the left and I saw it, and I agree with her. It just looks out of place. It doesn't fit there. And the reason, in my opinion, it doesn't fit there is because Kennywood is a very small place, and most of their rides are set up basically on the hillsides because they only have so much space, and they can only go down the hill so far before you're practically in the water. And now, I'm not saying they couldn't make a coaster to go over the water. I just don't know who's going to engineer it and how much it's going to cost. So when we got there, we met up with a couple of friends of ours that were there, and they had their newborn. So, we were hanging out with them, but, once we met up with them and everything, we saw that Steel Curtain was running. We saw it as we were driving up. So when we got there, hey, okay, yeah, guess what? We're going to ride this. And they brought a person with us, or with them, and so, that person wanted to ride with us. And I was totally fine with it. So, as you can see here, and let me switch over to it. Okay, here's the picture. I already zoomed in on it. And, I mean, the theming's nice, For me, the seats didn't feel too bad. They actually felt pretty good for me. I think my wife had an issue with it, and I don't remember what it was. But everything looked fine. The ride's nice. I just don't think it's to me, I don't think it's thrilling like Steel Vengeance, because yeah, it has 9 inversions, but I mean, you could put as many inversions or anything as you want. If you don't, I'm trying to pick the right words. If it doesn't fit the way it looks, in my opinion, and opinions are like brain cells, everybody has one, or has some, but it just didn't feel thrilling to me. And I think if my memory serves me correctly, my wife said that Steel Curtain is 2 miles per hour faster than Steel Vengeance. And when I rode it, it just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel like it. It felt like it was actually slower than Steel Vengeance. So, and the only reason I'm thinking that, and again, my opinion, because, your ride experience is your perception of everything, how you react to any kind of stimuli. for whatever reason. And considering that on Steel Vengeance, I'm floating out of the seat, even during small bunny hills, like when you come back into the station and you hit the bunny hills that are right next to the queue line, I'm flying out of the seat. Okay, when Steel Vengeance makes turns, even if it's not a complete inversion, because I think there's a part where like you kind of you go like this and you ride like that, and then you come back down. And I think there's a couple spots that does that. You know, I'm like leaning out of the car, depending upon which way it is, or I'm leaning against my wife if she's on whichever side of me, whichever way I'm going. So, to me, it's that kind of stuff that makes me think that it was faster than Steel Curtain, if my memory serves me correctly when my wife told me that. So, to me, again, you know, that's just my perception. It just didn't feel as exciting, and the way Steel Vengeance or the way Maverick rides feel when I'm riding them. You know. Now, to some people, this may be like Steel Vengeance to them. To me, it just wasn't up there. I'd say, you know, I give this a 5 out of 10. I give Steel Vengeance a 8.5. There's some improvements they could do to it. One thing's the clicking going up the hill. Oh my God, is that stuff loud? But that's a whole other thing. So yeah, this is a 5. Steel Vengeance is a 8.5. My wife would probably give it higher. So, but like I said, this to most people could be their 8.5. It just depends. You know, I'm not saying don't ride it. I'm not saying it's a piece of junk or anything like that. It's not. I mean, it's a fun ride. I just prefer what experience I got from Phantom's Revenge and also Thunderbolt, because they redid the track except for when you're pulling into the station, because the track pieces were out of alignment and it hit, and I was just like, you spent all this money to retrack this and you couldn't have fixed that. But again, that's a whole other story. But Thunderbolt was awesome to ride. Steel Phantom, I think it could go faster. I mean, not Steel Phantom, Phantom's Revenge. I think it could go faster than what it does. But I had that experience of the floating out of the car during, you know, certain things and getting whipped around. So, you know, I mean, I would prefer Phantom's Revenge, Thunderbolt over this. I would rank this probably like from have to ride to I would say this would probably rank about a 7 out of the top 10 if they have 10 coasters. But that's just where I would rank it. But yeah, I mean, definitely ride it. It is a fun ride. You know, I can't knock it or anything. I do want to share one other thing, because so when we came in to Kennywood, I had to do this because they had this sign of Kennywood, always a good time, and I have the look on my face like, really? So I had to do a little bit of creative editing and I had to do this. And I even posted to Tony Clark the this here, because, and like I said, it's me, it's my opinion. You know, if other people have been to Cedar Point and like Kennywood better, hey, go for it. You know, you do you, I do me. That's all there is to it. So, but yeah, I had to put that over top of that, where Cedar Point, always a good time, because in my opinion, for me, it's always a good time. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts on Steel Curtain. It's to me, it's in the can. Won't be going back to Kennywood unless they put something different in there that, you know, makes me want to try it. Because I figured with 9 inversions, you know, should have done something, but really didn't. So, but hey, as I always like to say, have a good day, guys, and take care.